In 1935, H.F. Johnson, the son of the founder of S.C. Johnson, set off an expedition to Brazil to secure access to the wax of a plant called carnaúba, called the Tree of Life by some Brazilians because of its incredible resilience to the strongest droughts. The first flight in history had occurred less than 30 years earlier, and he risked his life to fly to Brazil. This was such a daring expedition that it was even reported by Time magazine. Why would he take such risk and fly over 15,000 miles overseas? He believed that the carnaúba wax has superior properties than the ones exhibited by the other types of wax he had available here in the US. He believed that the wax from the jungles of Brazil would help his company differentiate itself from its competitors. If we think about H.F. Johnson's story, we are able to understand the motivations of companies to take so much risk and work to source from abroad. There are so many reasons why companies would go to the troubles and complexities of sourcing products from a foreign country. A key motivation is, obviously, to have access to products that are cheaper than the ones available domestically. Sometimes, the product a company needs is not even available domestically. Think of Starbucks, for example. Where would they be able to buy coffee in the US? Nowhere. Because with the exception of Hawaii and Puerto Rico, the US does not have commercial coffee plantations enough to meet the US demand. Many companies like S.C. Johnson source from overseas actually to have access to products of higher quality than the ones available domestically. Not to mention that when a company sources abroad, it increases its bargaining power with domestic supplier in terms of price and other operational conditions. And because a firm has more alternatives of supply, a company is actually less exposed to risk. The advantages you get from having alternate sources of supply help you not only have a stronger negotiation with domestic suppliers, but also to more quickly react when a disruption such as a fire in a plant or a strike at a port happens. In the case of a disruption, the time between when the order is placed and when the order is delivered, the so-called lead time, is actually reduced. A very interesting motivation to source internationally happens when you actually want to sell abroad. In many instances, when you are selling to a government in a developing country, they don't have enough reserves of strong currencies, such as the US dollar, to pay for their purchases. So as to get the sale, you need to commit to buying a product from that developing country. This is a strategy to guarantee that some of the dollars will return to the country's reserves. And just as with international distribution, you have the option to work with intermediaries. When you're working with sourcing abroad, you can buy products and materials from an import merchant or distributor located in your own home country. You can place orders with a sales agent who will put you in touch with a supplier and will assist you in coordinating the details of the transaction with the supplier. And you can also buy directly from the exporting firm, which can be an ETC, an export trading company, or a supplier. And you can arrange for the importing of the product yourself. Each option has advantages and disadvantages. When you buy a foreign product from a distributor located in your own country, you'll not have to deal with any of the complexities and risk of doing business with a foreign supplier. But on the other hand, you will have no control over the product availability and quality and price. You might also pay a higher price for the product since you have a middleman between you and the foreign supplier. The opposite holds for the scenario in which you manage the operational and commercial relationship with the international supplier yourself. You will have greater control of the product guidelines and prices, but you will need to engage in all the complexities of managing a supplier abroad. Because of increased control, you will have greater advantages when it comes to managing the supplier, but it brings several operational and commercial risks as well. So in a nutshell, firms will have different motivations to source internationally, and many will have many options to access suppliers abroad. Based on your firm's experience with sourcing internationally, based on your firm's sales volume and your firm's strategy, you might want to adopt different sourcing channels.